Hey, Casey here. I want to raise consciousness here. I want to raise awareness to patterns of lust, talking about celibacy. On my journey of celibacy for the last couple of years, when I see or interact with a woman, two things that can happen: immediate lust or something deeper, like this instant love and acceptance. This interaction with her or him, if that's your preference, it either comes from down below or in the heart. It's the soul connection is in the heart, and the lust and sex connection is down there. And the lust sex connection is much more in the mind as well. It's that guy or girl that you get infatuated with almost immediately that you know they're no good for you. Yeah, these are not often talked about topics, but I don't really care either. I want to bring it up because this is about this is about addiction. This is about wounds, emotional wounds, trauma. But this is an awareness for somebody who wants to be aware of what you're getting into, because spiritual teachers and yogis say, like, do whatever you want, but just do it with full awareness and consciousness, right? Don't just do it for out of habit or an unconscious pattern. So, okay, back to what I notice is the purely sexual attraction with somebody. It's unaddressed emotional wounds that are speaking between us, because it hits on parts of us that we've abandoned, and they fit those parts like a puzzle. So there's this very strong attraction, and it's animalistic and it's sexual, and it usually ends up toxic, or yeah, it burns out very quickly. And it plays out the role of that trauma from your younger years, whether you're aware of it or not. And then the other side of that, on the other side of celibacy, you meet somebody that you love almost immediately. You are on the same, and I get emotional about it because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Uh, the the vibration is the same. It's not it's not from wounding, because the lust from the wounding and the puzzle pieces and the animal, tendency, that can feel like love to some people. And you might think it's love, but it's actually just attachment. And you're looking for a piece of you that you lost when you were younger or earlier in your life. And that's what you're seeking. And you can never fill that. You can only heal that. So the other, yeah, like I was saying, the other side of that, when you meet another person like on your same level, and when you've been in the lust mode, in the sexual mode your entire life, it can be, you can be kind of dumbfounded about it. You're like, there's something about this person that there's not this electric, animalistic, lusting sex drive for them, but there's something deeper that you just love about them. And it's kind of paradoxical, because your body is like, love someone, you are intimate with them, you have sex with them, and that's not really what this is about. This union of two souls, which is really what it is. It's like a soul level connection. It's more. divinely inspired. Maybe you've only had the sexual experiences that, turn toxic and, and leave you wounded even worse, or even more traumatized. It's only through celibacy and semen retention and breath work and sitting with my feelings that I have come to this realization. It is not an easy path. I kicked porn to the curb a few years ago, 3-ish years ago. That was its own, uh, you know, that's like quitting cigarettes or some other, deeply entrenched habit because that's been around for a long time. But I always had guilt and remorse about it, and I don't want to feel like that anymore. I want to be free. So that was the first step of that, and then masturbation is another thing, that you can be addicted to because it makes you feel good. And just like food, you might overeat or you might eat emotionally. Same thing with masturbation and sexual things. You might seek a partner to feel better about yourself. You might seek validation to feel better about yourself. You might masturbate to feel some kind of good feeling because you don't feel okay with yourself or you have something going on, or it's another escape. It's another way of suppressing um, and repressing feelings. Back to the soul level connection. It's pure and right. It's about right intention. It's right action. There's something sacred about it, And coming from a world, my world, coming from the former me, post pre awakening, I wasn't really capable of that. I was too wounded. I was too hurt. Looking back at that person that I was, my whole life was survival mode and trauma response, most of it, which I had to grieve through that, because that is a lot of time and a lot of energy that I put into things that were just running on autopilot. The other part of that grief is like how I treated my children and my wife, my former wife, because deep down in my soul, I want to be a good person and I want to treat people with love and respect and kindness and compassion and empathy. But these wounds that we carry, the unhealed trauma, the emotional neglect, the abandonment, they cloud they cloud how we act and who we are. It's all in the subconscious. It's not a conscious thing. We are these things are programs that run, and I'll just give you an example. Cleaning the house. I am the breadwinner in the house. My wife stays home to take care of the kids in the house. The house should be clean. That's a conditioning. Okay? That's an unconscious thing that I had in my head. It wasn't something that and the same thing on her part. Her The way she acted about that and resisted it or didn't do it is a conditioning on her part. I'm not going to do that because, I don't live up to your expectations. I That's not what I like to do. That's not how I operate. Those are her default mode, and my default mode was, yeah, I am gone all day. I do all the breadwinning and the fixing and the supporting and the money, and you do those things. That's just that's just that's unconscious living. And going back to the original idea of the lust and like this animalistic sexual drive, that's unconscious living. Like animals are along that same line. They eat and crap and have sex, and rest. Like those are their main survival modes. That's what they do. I mean, I'm sure that they play around and fight a little bit and stuff, but those are very low consciousness, and I would say what I just described is low consciousness. And the if we want to raise our consciousness, we're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to think a different way. And the only way that I have found to do that is to sit with not breaking the pattern, sit with not completing the loop, completing the cycle. See hot woman, highly attractive, uh, don't really know why, must have sex, find out that we're not compatible, crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn. We got to break the pattern. Yeah. So then I create a criteria in my journal. And if you want to hear about journaling, I have another video. I have to break the conscious pattern. Why do I like this woman? What are the positives about her? What are the negatives about her? The funny thing is, when we get in those kind of relationships, those unconscious relationships, I only can see like the good things, but like these 19 red flags, I'm just like, yeah, I I, I give them very little playtime in my head. But these like three awesome things, she's super beautiful, she love bombs me all the time, and she can cook food. Okay, and then she has 19 red flags, and I'm not going to describe all the red flags, but that it's kind of a blind moving forward, right? It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's blind. That's all I'll say. It's unconscious. It's that's why the journaling practice and writing down, like, uh, raising the awareness of what are you actually attracted to? What are you actually going for? And then back to the soul connection, woman or man, if that's your thing. It's a different thing about, it's more like you just accept them for who they are. All of it. You just accept them for who they are. Since you're both conscious, since you're both making conscious decisions, since you can have truthful and honest conversations, there's definitely an awareness when you meet somebody and you're on their same vibration and they're beautiful inside and out versus somebody that is your wounds are matching, because they have wounds, probably father wounds, and I have mother wounds, and that's how that trauma bond happens, and sometimes you got to go through that 10, 20 times to figure that out. um, and then letting go of a person like that, it's super excruciating, it's super hard, especially if you don't get into another relationship right away and you just be with yourself for an extended period of time. I'm talking 6, 9 months, a year by yourself after that last toxic relationship. That's my recommendation. You know how much growth and change I had in those times? Huge amounts. Huge amounts. I raised my consciousness and like my awareness of my patterns so much. I saw a lot of. I had to relate it back to like childhood with my mom. Why do I need her approval? Why am I always trying to please her and not getting what I need back? Or maybe I didn't feel uh, safe all the time in my childhood. Why am I people pleasing? Why am I only happy if everybody around me is happy? And if everybody around me isn't happy, then I'm not happy. That attunement with my environment, the vigilance in my environment. It's all bringing it back to Casey. Just bringing my awareness, my attention, my focus back here and healing this codependency, people pleasing BS that I've been living with my whole life. All right, I'm going to stop ranting. I'm at 16 minutes. Um, yeah, it's Conscious Casey. Take a breath. Love you.